Hello, my name is Roshan, and today I will be showing you how to write a simple program using while loops to compute the average of a set of user inputted values. So to start with, we're going to want to actually be able to get the input from the user. So to do that, we need to import java.util.scanner. No, it's capital. And then we can actually start writing the program. So put in your class statement, file name, and put in your main method. And now you can put in the scanner to get your input. So scanner SCNR equals new. And this SCNR doesn't really matter, it's just a variable that you have to use after. It can be input or whatever you want it to be. And now we need to make a variable to store the input. Input equals SCNR dot next line. So this will store the input as a string variable, and then you want to give the user directions. So let's do enter integers you want to average, and then enter average to compute the average. And this is important because we're going to be using this average input from the user to actually end our loop and do the computation. You'll see in a moment. So to start the computation and the loop, you want to make a sum variable, or I guess we should write the loop first so you know why you want the sum variable. So let's write a loop, do a while loop. So a while loop will run infinitely until you give it a stop condition. And for this while loop, we're going to use when the user inputs average as a stop condition. So not when input dot equals. We had to use dot equals here because input is a string, and you had to use a string method to do that, not a comparator like equals equals. That's not going to work. It'll give you an error if you do that. Or I'm not sure if it gives you an error or just doesn't run at all. Either way, it doesn't work. And then you're going to want to start actually writing your computation. Sum int sum equals 0. You had to initialize it to 0 such that you can add stuff to it. If there's no value inside of it initialized, when you try add stuff to it, it just won't work. So here the plus equals operator adds whatever's on the right side of the equation to the left side of the equation, so to the sum variable. So instead of writing sum equals sum plus, you should use plus equals, and then integer dot parse int to convert the string input into integer input. And the reason we need to do that and not just initialize input as an integer is so that they can input average to end and compute the program. So from there, you're going to want to, should have done this earlier. Input the input line such that every single time this while loop runs, it gets new input, so it doesn't just stop after one iteration and leave you kind of stuck there. And then after that, you give it a print line, tell the user what to do next, input. And that will run infinitely until average is inputted. And and now you want to do the actual average computation. Oh yeah, before you do that, int counter 0, and at the end counter ++. What this does is gives you a counter variable which counts how many integers have actually been put into the program, and you need that such that you can compute the average, like that's given the average formula. It's the sum divided by the number of numbers, so that's going to be our counter variable. And the ++ adds 1 to the counter variable every single time you use it, or yeah, so whenever this runs, counter is increased by 1, basically. And we just have average is, and then plus sum divided by counter. I think that should be everything, so now we can get ready to actually run our program. So do javac my sum.java, and no errors, it's good. Java, and I have done something wrong, evidently. I honestly don't know what went wrong here. Done. Why is this not printing? Oh, that's why I put input before the print line. And it gave me an error. Unfortunate. Oh, I can't input done. That's going to give me an error because I didn't define done as a thing to do. The command is supposed to be average to end the program. So if you want to end the program, just do average. But first you got to put numbers, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then write average to end it. Average is 5. Okay, so that worked. So that's how you use a while loop to compute the average.